Battlefield has always been known for its evolution of destructive environments, massive open battles, and a feeling that you are truly in the middle of a combat zone. Explosions everywhere, soldiers chattering in radios, suppressive fire and bullets whizzing by your head, helping give the feeling that you are there as just one of many soldiers on the field. Part of the magic behind Battlefield's success was giving players a role to choose, a purpose for you to help your team gain the upper hand in each battle for the objective. These roles were defined by your playstyle and allowed you to mold them to your liking. I personally prefer the engineer class as it gives me bonuses for SMG handling, and you can't really go wrong with an RPG. I'm typically the guy running around the map making sure every building is completely destroyed and the physics engine is working overtime. Otherwise, I'm cosplaying as Jim Sheed, everyone's favorite RPG enthusiast.
Perfect. You couldn't get a more perfect RPG shot than he had.
Here we go, Jim shot.
Disclaimer, throughout this video I will mostly be using comparisons between Battlefield 4 and Battlefield 6, since those are the two games in the franchise that I have the most experience with, and using other titles in this series wouldn't feel accurate to me and fair to you, the audience. Plus, I don't want to be crucified for having a bad take. I'll be jumping in between clips from 4 consecutive matches I played, one as each class in their respective order. There are 4 roles provided to the player in Battlefield 6, and they all carry their own weight, so it's important to recognize who they are and what utility they bring to the table. First, we have Assault, the tried and true objective playing soldier whose focus is always being the first person on the point and making sure they can keep pressure on the enemy team with the gadgets at their disposal. This role is best with assault rifles as their primary, and in BF4, their gadgets included med packs, an M320 grenade/utility launcher, and the M26 mini shotgun that acted as another utility weapon. If you're new to Battlefield, you may recognize that I mentioned med packs during this. Yes, back in Battlefield 4 and most other Battlefield titles, the assault class was actually the medic. They could only throw out health kits, but not ammo. More on that in a bit. The assault class in BF6 changed drastically from its previous mold with the introduction of new class perks and an overall rework on the character's playstyle. In BF6, Assault is equipped with the same M320 grenade launcher and M26 mini shotgun, but now they can also equip a third weapon at the cost of overall ammo reserves being dramatically lower, as well as a new stim used to increase the sprint speed and provides an aversion to stun effects. On top of that, the Assault class has a new perk that allows them to capture points and objectives faster than all other classes, seemingly at 1.5x the rate. I'm not sure of that number, but that's just my random guess. This class was the most changed by far, and it tends to be the most controversial of the bunch, seeing as many players have begun calling this the Call of Duty class, and it makes sense honestly. The best part of these roles is seeing total strangers go out of their way to help you by tossing ammo, diving onto a tank firing an RPG, or even just laying 150 meters away scanning objectives with a drone. For Assault, you can see them mostly getting a negative KD and 0 objective play because they're not bothering to play with the team, mostly because they don't need to. Why get an ammo refill from your support if you're going to charge in and die anyways? The always beloved Engineer class is pretty straightforward. You're equipped with a repair tool that fixes vehicles and friendly fortifications, like the support's deployable cover and your choice of 2 anti-vehicle weapons and armaments. The only main deviation from previous Battlefield titles is that you can no longer carry more than one type of rocket launcher. Engineers specialize in SMGs as their primary, meaning that they have improved handling with the full lineup of SMGs. There are 5 launchers to choose from to equip with varying purposes, but the RPG is really the only one that you should be running since it has no gimmicks like the rest. With Engineer, there's a heavy reliance on using your role for a reason: vehicles. If you play Conquest, Escalation, Breakthrough, Red Sack, Gauntlet, and even on some rush maps, there's a high chance you'll bump into an infantry fighting vehicle or a main battle tank. Most Engineer players will sprint to the main rows of the map and throw down all of their mines, so tanks either have to slow down to continue on that path or get blown to pieces. The best part is that the Engineer mines don't disappear when you die. or even if you switch classes, meaning you can place 3 mines, then die, then 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 place. The rocket launchers are the other utility, which I feel like I don't need to explain. Shoot down aircraft or fire rockets at tanks, it's pretty simple. One thing to note is that tanks do have weak spots on the top and on the rear, so try to flank behind tanks when possible. The repair tool is your trusty cure-all for an AP shot through the hull of your friend's Abrams. Simply walk up to the damaged vehicle, equip the repair tool, and hold down the fire button. In other instances, you can use it to burn the flesh off your enemy. Support players are one of two things and never both. Completely useless individuals who just want to heal themselves out of all of their trouble and go 5 and 24 in rush, or the reincarnation of Desmond Doss from Hacksaw Ridge.
Please, Lord, help me get one more. Help me get one more.
Support is the new all-in-one medic and ammunition supplier. They come equipped with a box of goodies that provides anyone in its radius with health and ammo. This is one of the bigger changes from prior Battlefield installments, since there hasn't ever been a class that can heal and provide ammo in any game, to my knowledge. But that doesn't mean that the change was bad. In fact, I think it's a healthy change. I love being able to get a full reset when one of these bundles of joy and 5.56 appear in front of me. Support players are also equipped with the ultimate tool to stop an enemy push, the defibrillators. These shock paddles will instantly revive any down friendly to half HP and can be charged to revive them to full HP. When all you see is friendly blue dots of dead friends pinging the map, just know that the good medics are sprinting across the map to come save the day. Supports are also given a deployable cover, a mortar emplacement, trophy systems, and a few other defensive gadgets. It seems like EA and DICE wanted to make a shift to enforce an idea that assault is your offensive role, while support is your defensive. This doesn't mean that playing support on the attacking team is a bad thing. It's just more conducive to use support to hunker down on an objective and lock it down as enemies approach to overtake. The recon role has always been a divided group of players, where some will do nothing but ping people with a drone until they're number 1 in the leaderboards for the first time in their life, or they're sitting 1,200 meters away from any nearby objective trying to snipe someone sprinting inside of a building. I personally love playing recon, but mostly I play sniper characters in any game I play. If you're anything like me as a recon, you're using your drone to blow up AT mines while they're under enemies' feet, and pushing objectives with a sniper rifle, thinning out the enemy team's respawning players. Beyond the drone that I mentioned, the recon is equipped with the tugs, or motion sensor. This is a great tool that scans the minimap and pings enemy players within a 15 to 20 meter radius, which is great if planted on the objective. Recon can also use C4, which makes them the second best anti-tank class, since the C4 can be used against vehicles and destroy them quickly if you're sneaky enough. For weapons, it's pretty obvious that the Recon would specialize in snipers. They have an enhanced ability to re-rack the bolt on their rifle faster than the other classes, but they can also instantly mark anyone that their scope glances over with any weapon. This is a great tool for spotting and assisting teammates on locating enemy positions, as well as marking your prey before firing. I think it's clear that the Recon's purpose is to scout and provide intel to the team via their minimap to help the team progress. This has been a staple part of the Battlefield franchise, and I'm glad they didn't change it too much. They still have value in games, so long as people check their minimaps and can help guide a team to determine which objective has more hostiles on it and which has less. I've explained the roles, and they all sound pretty cohesive on paper, right? Not quite. At least in Battlefield 6 specifically. These roles should basically force you to play a different playstyle every time you pick one. If you pick Assault, you should basically be in a wheelchair with the game pushing you into each objective. That idea does not seem to resonate with most of the player base though. You can go queue up a match of Breakthrough right now and find at least 6 people playing Assault and just laying in a corner off of the objective trying to grab quick and easy kills strictly because of the fact that this class uses assault rifles better than others. People playing this game aren't playing anymore for the coordination or combat loops that DICE and EA intended. Instead, they're opting into this COD mindset that kills are the value that you could bring to your team, no matter how few you get. I see recon players equipping shotguns using buckshot and charging into the point because C4 is effective to throw over the cover that the defending team is hiding behind. Support players are laying down 60 meters away from the objective with a bipod up and not even laying down suppressive fire. Engineers are rushing in on the attacker's side, placing mines in the roadways that won't blow anything up because there's no tanks for teams on defense. Players are not grasping anything about the value of these roles, like gamers from the past have been able to in the Battlefield series. It's hard to tell what caused this shift or what worm has started eating the brain of most of the player base, but it seems like everyone believes in this idea that kills are king. When you're playing Battlefield, the chaos is a core element of what makes it so entertaining and replayable, since there's always something new or crazy to look forward to every match. While that still exists and likely won't go away, there still needs to be cohesion through that chaos. Teammates should be actively searching for ways to help others, while also enjoying the fun of what makes this series so great. I'm not trying to advocate that shooting the enemy is the wrong thing to do. Believe me, I spend most of my matches hunting down someone who shot me 5 minutes ago from 200 meters away. But I want to emphasize the point that these roles have a purpose that people are overlooking, and it's making the matches feel bland. I've had so many moments in Battlefield 4 where my team is getting completely wiped out and one stray medic comes in and reses everybody holding C on Operation Locker. Moments where I'm driving a tank getting destroyed by an Apache, then a heroic engineer fires an impossible RPG shot and saves my tank from being destroyed. These are the types of moments that define Battlefield for me. The uncoordinated cohesion that just naturally occurs simply because a stranger decided to play a different role this round. In Battlefield 6, it feels like there's a squad of 4 dudes. Nothing unique or stand out about them other than the weapon they're holding. That perception can be easily changed once you're in the action, but it feels like the roles contain no meaning anymore when I'm trying to determine how my squad will play. And I will say with some bias that engineers, regardless of the equipment that they have, always seem to know their role best. You'll always see 10 AT mines spread throughout the field where tanks roll through or rockets piercing through the air, but I can't always rely on a support player to res my teammates and I. Aside from the bias I innately hold for engineer, recons never really care for winning the game, but instead they care about hitting 3 200+ meter shots throughout the entire 25-minute conquest match. This just makes these roles feel more detached from the game, and it makes me realize that maybe the Battlefield devs did this intentionally. Maybe they chose to simplify things in order to draw in a larger crowd with the failure of Battlefield 2042. Maybe they plan to steal the market away from Call of Duty to force competition in the market. It's all speculation, but there has to be a reason the game is feeling this way and the roles are becoming less interesting to play into. And while this commentary may sound like I'm a huge doomer, you should know I have been no-lifing this game at the time of recording, having just under 200 hours in the game, which equates to a lot of time I could have been doing other things. I love this game, and it's a ton of fun. I just wish that when I'm loading up a round and my team is rushing the objective, that it felt like a platoon of soldiers ready to help each other at a moment's notice. I come from a background of playing a ton of Overwatch, which is heavily focused on role and hero-specific duties, so maybe I'm jaded by the sort of teamwork found in that game. What do you think? Is there really any issues with Battlefield 6's roles, or do they feel healthy? Let me know in the comments what your thoughts are. Thanks for watching. You can check out my other video. Wait, this is my first video. Consider subscribing so I make more. Much love. Doc out.